Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Planes, Trains, and Comic Books channel. My name's Matt, and today we're going to review Batman Beyond the White Knight #1. But before we get into that, if you guys wouldn't mind sharing, subscribing, commenting, it really helps me out and lets me know what you guys want to see more of. So, with that being said, let's get straight into this one. And before we get started, I got to give a little spoiler warning. This book definitely has spoilers for White Knight and Curse of White Knight. So if you haven't read those and you wanted to pick them up before you read this, definitely go get those and read them first. All right, we got the cover here for Batman Beyond the White Knight #1. It is by Sean Murphy with Dave Stewart on colors. And we start off at Wayne Manor, which has been blown up and is collapsed and everything, so it's barely there anymore. In the background, you can see Neo Gotham, which looks pretty cool. And someone has gone spelunking down into the Bat caves below, and it seems like he's down there to recover a bat suit. He's talking to someone else over like a headset, and they're telling him he needs to go find a certain bat suit. And when he finds it, he puts it on, but he gets confronted by two cops who are guarding the area. He's able to get away from them, kind of hurts them a bit because he's not used to wearing this suit. This kid is just stealing the suit for someone else, so he doesn't know how to use it. And we see the person he's working for is someone named Derek Powers. Then we cut to Gotham Prison, where Bruce Wayne has been for what seems maybe like 5 or 10 years. And there's a riot going on by prisoners who are saying they're the Sons of Azrael. And they have taken a hostage who is Jason Todd, who, if you don't know, was the first Robin in this series. And Jason Todd is just a regular cop in this. So Bruce beats a couple guys up and actually negotiates with the head guy and gets him to release Jason. And as Jason and Bruce are kind of hashing out some old past history that they need to talk about and get closure on, this tank drives into the building and it's got a bat symbol on it. And we see it's actually part of the GTO, the Gotham Task Force, that is run by Dick Grayson, who used to be the second Robin in this series. And we see that someone named Powers is now on the logo for this tank. And Powers has been using Wayne Industries and Batman tech to make a militarized police force. So there's the regular police that are just your average blue-collar cop, and then there's the GTO, which is the super funded, super weaponized version of the police. And when they come in, they just beat the crap out of all the prisoners that were rioting. And one of the other GTO officers is Duke Thomas, who is also a former Robin, and he's telling Bruce, all that money that you gave away when you went to prison, it didn't go to where you wanted it. It just ended up lining the pockets of politicians and corporations who found a way to get the money from the government. And Duke also tells him that one of his bat suits, specifically the most powerful one that he ever made, was taken and stolen from his cave. And Bruce knows that Powers must be behind all of this. So that night, Bruce decides he's got to get out of prison. He's got to stop Powers and anybody who's going to wear that suit because it's too dangerous. And as he's breaking out, he runs into Jason Todd, and Jason begins to just finish the conversation they were having before. And we get to see this kind of alternate history of what happened to Jason Todd in the White Knight universe. And after they have their conversation, they kind of get a bit of closure. And Jason Todd says, "I'll give you a 10-minute head start, but I have to sound the alarm." So that's where I'm going to leave it. I don't want to spoil anything else, but I thought this was a great issue. I don't know how easy it will be to pick up and just read if you haven't read White Knight or Curse of the White Knight. There's a lot of reference to those things in here. And even for myself, I haven't reread White Knight or Curse of the White Knight for a couple years. So I did have that feeling of, oh, I got dropped into the middle of this and was trying to remember exactly what was going on and what happened previously. Overall, I thought Sean Murphy did a really good job. He has to weave all these threads with the past storylines that he's written in White Knight and Curse of White Knight. He's got his own continuity. You might know that Jason Todd was the second Robin in regular DC continuity, but in White Knight, he was the first Robin. So things like that are interesting to see how he's playing with the mythology and things like that. I do feel like this was a really strong entry into the White Knight universe. I can't wait to see more of Batman Beyond, like the Terry McGinnis stuff. So if you're a fan of Sean Murphy or the Batman White Knight universe in general, definitely check this one out. Even if you haven't read the other ones and you pick this one up, there are definitely things that are going to be intriguing or possibly confusing, but kind of like all comics, if you just kind of roll with it and go with the story, you will probably be able to pick everything up. So I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5. This is a top tier book, great art, great writing, and I can't wait to see what happens in this book. I'm very excited to see Batman Beyond in these pages. So if you liked anything you saw, definitely go pick that up at your local comic book store, and we will see you all in the next one.